right? It's the calm before the storm tomorrow, and birth itself tomorrow. We have a real privilege to welcome Professor Qumsiyeh, who is from Bethlehem. Mazin is a professor there, biodiversity, environmentalism, and he's been in, originally was in 3 American universities, in Tennessee, in Duke University, and also in Yale. He's actually written 180 scientific papers, 30 book chapters, paper, and also various books. And he's got a wide range of interests, from environmentalism, biodiversity, medical genetics, and I'm sure going to give us something of his life and how he's got into biodiversity. I know that there are people here who are working in those areas in Fort William. There are people who have a health link here, but also to hear something about life as a Palestinian in the West Bank and Gaza. And we're all aware of what's going on there at the moment. We're here today that there's over 44,000 people have died in Gaza at the moment, and continue to go on, and it must stop at some point soon. And we all pray for that to happen. But I want to just hand over now to Mazin. We gave him a good tea at the Lochaber beforehand, which those of us here will know. And welcome to Lochaber, Mazin. Thank you for making the time to come down.
Thank you very much for coming. I know we're all very busy, so come to hear me. And also got the night there. Neville, David, others will wait short and my wife and I. Countryside, really pleasure to be here, although a bit more fun to you. Okay. So anyways, I will try to be very brief because I also want to leave plenty of time for questions. My background is, as mentioned, environment, biodiversity, but also medical genetics. And in medicine, we say there are 5 pillars of medicine. There's taking patient history, taking the symptoms, making the right diagnosis, offering therapy, and then telling the patient prognosis, what's going to happen. David, as you said, can tell you that's what he does. So I say the same thing applies to social. I have to say, who is the patient first? Well, when the patient was leading the solution, because very used for the Palestine, obviously, speaking whether it's a wall, hilly, all that, but perhaps the only area I do want to focus on in terms of symptomology is that symptoms, which many of you have not heard of that, or not doing enough about. So that's the part I want to talk about. And then in terms of the therapy, also, I'll focus on positive energy and the that we are doing. Okay, so who is this patient? It's this gentleman from their land region between Africa and Eurasia. It's where actually humans migrated out of Africa, settled first outside of Africa in their part of the world, and stayed there for many thousands of years before they moved on to other parts of the world, like So actually, your ancestors are all Palestinians, whether you want it or not. There's another story that we can talk about. But anyway, getting back to it's talking about the net for bird migration. Over 500 million birds migrate from Eurasia to Africa through Palestine on annual migration. Um, you know, that would be an important area of the world. It's also important because it has a lot of point to the earth with that sea. It has together. So it has rituals of biodiversity in a very small area, 27,000 square kilometers, with a mild climate, doesn't get as cold here, obviously. So this one climate, rich soil, rich poor, down water, right if you want. First time for the first taking place. First from industry, driving cultural communities or pastoral communities happened in our region was called the fertile crescent researching from Palestine in the west through Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, to Iran. To the this terrace. This happened about 12,000 years ago. That's why we find towns like Jericho with 11,500 years of ocean habitation, never removed, never ethnically cleansed or anything. Videos the master or the in the structural person. Well, this happened because by the way, we were able to take wild animals like goats and sheep and camels and donkeys and domesticate them. Also take care of wild plants like olives, beans, chickpeas, and domesticate them. This happened all in this fertile crust. More in the western to the fertile crust, by the way. Once people settle there, it becomes what we call also the cradle civilization. So most civilization traces that, in fact, the alphabet you use comes from our ancestors. Probably the reason the alien shaped like this it comes from Alec, which is the one with the two horns. And that's where it comes from the region. But this is the Aramaic language. The B is from Beit. Beit is a house, so why have something gonna start that's it. Alternate a little bit, you get the B in Arabic, the Arabic alphabet also came from there. The Hebrew alphabet also came from the Proto-Aramaic alphabet that evolved in the western part of the Balkan Turkey. And as far as the people who continuously inhabited this, really we didn't have any ethnic cleansing. They're all very within the politically to account. Talk to Lochaber. You know, there's stories in the Bible that are exaggerated about ethnic cleansing and killing the Canaanites, for example. All of this stuff, how people thought that this is all mythology. There was ethnic cleansing or against. In fact, very small movement of population, but really no large scale vertical genocide happening now. These are the people that lived in that part of the world. They some my receptor, my relatives that have from Bethlehem. That's how my grandmother and grandfather, for example, dressed. Palestine is also a center of religious development, as you know. And the people of Palestine, over these hundreds, thousands of years, became multi-ethnic, multicultural, multi-religious, and even multilingual. Before we 44 languages. This is who we are. We believe in diversity. We believe that humans can live together, and this picture, by the way, religion is leaders are getting together to object to the Balfour Declaration in 1932. Now, why did these people object to the Balfour Declaration? They included, by the way, Samaritan priests and Jewish rabbi and other people. All were, why would they object? Well, they object because what you see in the picture. They were getting together, fine, no problems, there's a diversity, human diversity, and they don't want this diversity to be destroyed to produce a monolithic society, one culture, one religion, a Jewish state of Israel. So it's logical that they reject this idea. Now, this is the patent, if you want, history. When you think of this patient and the history, you say, okay, next question you ask your patient, and have you talked before? It's something that congenital, maybe these people always find each other over there. And that is basically, this sign has been a peaceful country, the whole fertile person, one of the most peaceful regions on earth. Some of you are looking at me like that they give him too much wine for dinner. Because of course you have media here, hype, exaggeration, etc. Yeah, I'm talking about numbers. Statistically, if you take our history, 4,000 years of settled communities since the invention of agriculture, and you take all the conflicts that happened throughout this history, for example, here's the diversity of agriculture, the programming for this, and in last this period of conflict over the period of the ancient history, you see that this is just a minority, that conflicts come and go rarely, rarely. In fact, if you take away this conflict, you'd have to go back to the Crusaders, 11th, 12th century AD, to find the previous conflict. And what happened between then and now? Nothing. You drop a pin to the peace. So we didn't have an issue. And certainly the Crusader killed us from where? From you. Right? Killed us from where? From you. There's something about you when you be aware of. That's another story. Politically, I don't like it. Go and tell us. We don't have the working in Eastern Palestine, these two segments of Brighton, that have nothing been indigenous organics they go something like that. You know, no, they always come to us, Persia, Europe, Roman Empire, this. Oh, so we know that the patient has been healthy most of his life, all of his life, except everything goes. So but what about this? The life not very complicated. It's a very simple problem. The problem is you took a multi-ethnic, multicultural, just multilingual society, and you want to make it a Jewish state. How are you going to do that? Why do you want to do it? You know, this investigation, if you want the details of that, you can read books like Ilan Papish, book on ministry cleansing of Palestine. But it's very clear in terms of Europe why origin in Europe. It was actually the British Empire put stop in the problem. And I'm not thinking the Balfour Declaration. I would on that in while the British government decided to do this. The British government decided to do this. They hired a guy by the name of George Gordon, and they told him do a study for how we can have Jewish colonization in Palestine to save the British Empire. That's what they told him. That's very the title is Regularization of Syria in the East, Observations and Practical Suggestions for Jewish colonization of Palestine as the most tangible remedy for the end of the region. Presented it to Parliament, British Parliament in London. The British Parliament approved it. with many objections. Don't found them in 1845, then both objected to it. They said, what are you going to do? Ship us to this backwater of the Ottoman Empire, like you did the criminal to Australia? We don't want that. So anyway, then there is minutes to be meeting. Everything is available if you want to read. This is the origin of our conflict, our problem, if you want. It's very obvious. You cannot have a Jewish state in the country that's 97% not. The only way you can do that is remove the local people or kill them, or both. And 550 Palestinian rapes and times ethnically cleansed, and you can beat them dots on the map on the right. That didn't happen suddenly, of course, it happened gradual stages like all colonization. In fact, how many of you have seen the printing map of Palestine before radio and a lot of you have? Do you know how that came about? Who first drew it? It was actually my son. He was 13 years old. He was going to visit school in the US. And he saw the shaking map of the United States in one of his assignment books. And he came to me and said, Dad, isn't this what happened to your country? I said, he said, well, sir, you grow up like this for Palestine? I said, no, you grow up like this for Palestine. You know how grown-ups speak to our children. And so he did it. He took it as challenge, and he did the math and see how it top. And I used it in my books, and I used it in writings that became one of the spread. This is what we call diagnosis. They invented it's called displacement that love colonialism. Displacement that love colonialism. Because if you think of other diagnoses, plural, other, the doctor made down those points, then will the pain that took the kill you and go to the pain. I ended up moving time. One rack and leaving. That's when you do last year take the screen and it's our spirit. That doctor may be killing me if I have chance, right? It's the underlying etiology is test. So it's important to make that. Now, how do we know we died? Sometimes the doctors disagree on diagnosis. When I was here in medical school, we used to have pathology programs every day. We did that, talk about cases. We say one doctor said this, I say, well, you know, what we the symptoms set one diagnosis, and that's that part. Other diagnosis, not like sure diagnosis plural. You know, for example, here you can say, well, maybe it's a religious cult. Maybe it's anti-Semitic. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. You can come up with all sorts of diagnoses, plural. So, what you know, the symptom, because the alternative symptom that will allow you the right diagnosis to have the symptom that's one. In 1918, in my village of Mexico, my family is Palestinian Christian. We have a descendant of Lochaber who have the age of 3, went up to Bethlehem, just up the hill from where I was born. And actually, one of them feed people around. I said, Islam are descendants of the feet that were here 2,000 years. But anyways, well, so in my village, it's a revolt for the coward. Why the coward revolt? Because we bought 7 big cows. One of them was pregnant and they paid up. From a kibbutz, Jewish. And we brought them to town. What's unusual about that? The feeling that for us Palestinians own 15 cows. So obviously these are huge cows. The Israeli military actually started military operation for you know, the mainly terroristic cloud providing terroristic doctrine called MILK. So this is that. Okay, think of this. The minor thing. Minor thing. Think about it. For example, a religious fund. The fund, they all would keep back on Muslim, January, Marshall, whatever. Jenny, Sergeant, and then not only the villagers, we were all on the field of marketing these child. We're 70% Christian, 50% Muslim, so it cannot be against Muslims like that, or against Christians. And the other anti-Semitism, but think of any other diagnosis that might come to your mind, and this story will say, no, this is not it. Fit this place will set up colonialism? Absolutely yes. The same reason why they didn't want us to have cows. Same reason why these white, beautiful European settlers bringing technology and knowledge and whatever killed 2 million of the entire creature for buffaloes. Well, they are the natives and food because they want the land. They didn't want the people to come to the land. Logical, not the scientific analysis, I'm not concerned with good, bad, or evil. That's up to you to, if you want. I don't use terminology. And, Jesus taught us love everyone. Love your enemies. I don't hate anybody. Okay? Of course, I hate the evil deeds I do to me. And I challenge those. And I will arrest them for those. But certainly, as individuals, human beings, to our dignity. So, I said I will cover one symptom that is the environmental symptom because of course, we suffer from a huge environmental problem, as you know. Climate change, habitat destruction, overexploitation, pollution, etc. Hitler colonialism actually combines all of those, and it is part and parcel of this. If you look at Australia, how many invasive species the Europeans bring, devastating the landscape of Australia. In the US, most of the virgin forests come after European colonization. Then it's just been, now it's a colonization, never had any problems. Rarely do indigenous people damage the environment. They co-evolve with it. They co-evolve with it over thousands of years. So these things have overlapped. And in our case, we have to think of what was it that damaged our environment in the past 76 years since the foundation of the Jewish state was well, there are several mega projects, as we call them. One mega project was to destroy not only the Palestinian village and remove them, but to destroy the trees that are still in villages, both domestic trees like plants, figs, and almonds, and also wild trees like oaks, hawthorn, and Mekarot, saying wiped the one up, that tens of millions of trees were bulldozed between 1948 and 1951. Israel did plant some trees. They have the Jewish National Park, carrying them in Israel, as they say in Hebrew. They have these blue boxes collecting money, supposedly plant trees. 95% of the money is for planting trees to the military, but that's another story. The percent that was to plant trees was to plant one kind of tree, which is pine tree. Pine is expensive, a monocross to give the country European look. And not only that, the pine trees have acidic leaves that all along from the leaves, and they grow fast, so the remnants of the Palestinian villages. This, the third issue of pine trees is what the European climate like this, they are pine. In the dry climate like ours, they are susceptible to fires. any kind of spot for peaceful goods can start the fire. And fires have been going on in Galilee and West Jerusalem and other areas. In this case of this fire, what you see after the fire could build the high. The terraces that our ancestors built and had other kinds of trees on became exposed. So it was already planted before the pine trees were planted. Um, which is where the start Jewish on the quarry, 1997, Nathaniel. And this was looked like before, forested area between Bethlehem and Jerusalem. And I used to go there, shop, catch butterflies, watch birds, things like that. And this is what happened. And we write research papers on this, by the way, like the climate vertebrate biodiversity, etc. So the destruction is produced in our area of the land covering this. Well, a major project that was done is diverting the water of Jordan River basin from Lake Tiberias in the north to the west of the country, to the from instead of green to the coastal areas. Israel wanted to do everything to the agriculture, flat, but plants that will domestic package to make sure that cucumbers and things like that. But what this did is dry up the Jordan River basin as you see here in the satellite image. This is what the Jordan 50 million cubic meters per year. Now it's 20 million cubic meters per year. This is the river that Jesus was baptized in, by the way. Both the Jordanian side and the Palestinian side, because the pilgrims would like to be dipped in the river that Jesus was dipped in, both on our side and the Jordanian side, the government created pools that make it look like a river side. The pilgrims can dip it because you can't dip them in a stream that is wide that you can walk across, even down across. Why did they do that to Jordan River? Is it because they needed the water? No, it's because they wanted to deprive the people of the Jordan River basin of water. This is, this is evident also from this diagram. This is the reference in the rural energy. So we don't have a shortage of water. Anybody who tells you that the first time person shortage of water is lying to you. We have plenty of water. The problem with us with water is not, it's uneven distribution. It's taken by a settler. 95% of all water is taken by the settlers. And taken by the settler not just for their use. Sometimes they use. And when I get water $10 every 2 or 6 weeks, sometimes a day or two maximum, they're starting which has about 3,000 water pump really was everything. So it's not a matter of shortage of water. It's a matter of least little here, but that's why we were throwing away water than sharing water. They don't even into the sea in the Mediterranean Sea. They even say Jordan, follow it goes to the certain rooms, but follow it is lower. But the idea is to deny and use people. Same with the story of the cows. Not the idea that they're against cows or that they need our cows for food. It's just that, the native people are not to be taken into consideration. When you want the land, you don't want the people who come with the land. If you look at Gaza Strip is in the news. Why is Gaza under blockade for decades? Has nothing to do with Hamas or resistance, terrorism, or anything. It is very clear that the the Lochaber gas was commemorated with the discovery of gas theories called the coastal gas. This is one major reason. That's why got to go in 6 kilometers miles to pinch 46 not 8 or 10. It's because of not the miles you get the gas here. And then people got that. What they now using to export to Europe to replace Russian gas, what you have to quote the North through the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipelines to make them completed and mysteriously blew up. We don't know who blew them up. That's another story. All the Western intelligence agencies, the greatest in the world, cannot tell us who blew these things up. But anyway, you can how and why and who benefits you. And of course, you want to do this. This year, and all of this. But anyways, that's one reason. There's another reason. There's something, I don't know if you heard of the Bangorian Canal. Bangorian Canal is a plan on the books for several years that involves connecting the Red Sea with the Mediterranean through the Gulf of Aqaba or Eilat, coming right through Gaza. What is this is the Bangorian Canal. Is to replace the Suez Canal, which brings in $6 billion a year to the Egyptian economy. To have a replacement canal. That's another issue. Third reason, which was very well articulated by the so both in Hebrew, I speak of Hebrew, and I was in English when he presented his class. They should this September 2023. Actually, Hamas stated that sheet as a major reason for October 7th. Because what he said in that speech is very simple. He said, here is Asia, here is Europe, we, Israel, will be the connector between Europe and Asia, this corridor between Europe and Asia. That is the direction. And he put the words out, and he said, we have countries in the Middle East like the Emirates and Saudi Arabia, who are going to forward in the and we have done the economy with chemicals. Basically creating them in this critical connective place between Europe and Asia. To replace what in this case? To replace the fine road, is only $6 trillion was spent on it by China and its allies. All this Pakistan, Iran, Turkey, etc. This is interesting, but it also explains a lot of geopolitics that we have built. Again, I don't want to get into too deep into something so heavy in the question and answer class, but the ideas of doing this entail damage to the environment. And damage to the environment in a way that will not make the country livable for Israelis or for Palestinians long term. I'm trying to say, for example, the Western coastal aquifer, the coastal aquifer is already damaged beyond repair. Beyond repair. Israel used seawater pumped it into tunnels that amassed the resistance built from the ground. They pumped seawater there. And here's seawater, goes to the airport. It will take it 300-400 years if it's survivable to without keep adding more fresh water, keep it there. So we do research on those kind of things, particular research. I want to show you just the latest data. This is from a paper we just submitted using remote sensing with expert from Sweden, from the UK, and from the USA and the state level. You can see we met the team need and the average need of 3 we can see by setting the remote sensing. And this is the damage to the trees. You can see by once in the map on the left, and on the graph in the hand corner, you can see cumulative three cover damage destruction in Gaza. Starting in the north, of course, we went to the south because that's where the Israeli military in the and you can see Rama, for example, South Gaza is now picking up steam to reach that 90%, 95% that's all Gaza. This is the greenhouse in Gaza, the damage. Again, you see a similar pattern. We mapped every single greenhouse in Gaza, and you can see the greenhouse in the north, down to fully in the north, and then down the north. Then you go north. There's the north where the main greenhouse is the Mediterranean front, so they need less greenhouses than the south. When there's more now region, so they need to put their but it's coming to the south and will damage the south. This is why the reversal that I mentioned earlier, it's a protected area already by the road sensing. I won't show you the picture because we haven't finished the study and we're about to start in a couple of months. The income of the damaged completely, essentially. It's the nature of it. This is what it looks like in the eternal form. I don't know. Because Palestinian, of course, cannot go there now. It's a closed military zone. The center of gas is to create the corridor called the other thing, for those of you who care about the environment, you could be against war. Yeah. The military is one of the largest producers of greenhouse gases in the world. And people don't realize this. Most military guys will you can report one either is in your house and help like how much is one F-35 or get how many gasoline get you will build better. The Guardian newspaper actually hired some experts after 15 days to look at this. And this is how much CO2 emissions are produced from the just supply the just oil garden. Okay? And it turned out that in the first 60 days, the rain just flying over Gaza produced more greenhouse gas emissions than the Central African Republic produced in a whole year. So all these automobiles, kitchens, everything else. So war and colonization are also climate change issue. Then back to here, whether you think it's some water wants to get Syrians or Israelis or you don't get it is actually this conflict impacts everybody and impacts everybody on other levels. There are more journalists, by the way, killed in Gaza than in the whole of the Second World War. There's destruction of mosques and churches. Nearly 300 mosques have been destroyed, 3 churches, including a third oldest church in Palestine. Museums were destroyed, universities were destroyed. All the universities in Gaza have been bulldozed or stopped up with it there. But or now to go back to my medical another the symptom, environmental symptom is the symptom of tetrachloronism. The diagnosis of tetrachloronism, patient history is healthy and will go back to being healthy. So the situation now looks very bad, but we can talk about that. Let's talk about 2 other aspects very quickly. One is the prognosis, what's going to happen, and one is the therapy, what is the solution, how to treat. Let me start with the prognosis. Very simple. Why do I say very simple? There's diseases in medicine we call orphan diseases and rare diseases. Usually we don't have pain. It's why they don't have pain. Well, so few people are involved in that pharmaceutical companies think, hey, we're not going to make money in this, so worry, you know? Or they affect so many people or something that affects a lot of people. You want to say, hey, for economy of scale, let's go along. Our case is one of the common diseases caused by colonials. In fact, I don't think that talked about the country and subject to some of the colonialism. We couldn't come up with a name. Maybe you guys can come up with a name. Just about every country, there has such our colonies. Displacement means. Well, I mean, Algeria was not displacement, but colonialism because the French settled Algeria, uh, killed a lot of Algerians who were resisting, not resisting, uh, collective punishment, but they didn't want to get rid of it. They wanted Japan and Algeria to rise. But anyway, these other conditions, each unique in its own way, but then you can see that polarity colonies. What happened with the whole patients? There are three scenarios, two of them very rare outcomes, and one the most common. Rare outcomes like what happened in Nigeria, where 1 million French back the French go to France. I don't take back to France because some of them are 6, 7, 8 generations in Nigeria. Many of them have never seen France in their lives. And they very bloody, but it was 2 million Algerian lost. Genocide, essentially. The second scenario is outright genocide of the native indigenous people that happened in the United States along Australia, where 1 or 2% remain manageable reservations and make also rare. The third and most common outcome from the what happened to all the rest of the world, 170, 180 regions or countries, like South America, Central America, Caribbean islands, North America, Mexico, and Canada, all during the century, all of Asia, etc. And then the descendants of the colonized live in one. These are the three scenarios. There's no fourth scenario for a solution in Europe. Those of you who are thinking in your mind about the two-state solution, please get it up. It is not a solution, it's an illusion or a mirage, but it's not a solution for colonial and colonial struggle. You want to know what? Go on my website, I wrote a book about it, called Failing the Land of Human Rights and the Israeli Palestinian Struggle, and you can read from there to buy my editor's level like that. One copy. And I went through it. It was 20 years ago. In detail, explaining why this solution is in the energy. Okay, that's an outcome. The most logical on this, a secular state for all its people, democracy. That's the most logical. How do you, it's what happened. How do you accelerate arriving at that? And what else? What's the theory you want? What treatments? Well, if you got cold, 19, decided, what do the doctors tell you? I got it actually 2 or 3 times. That's the piece I work. You told them this, you don't have to learn. If you don't have a little letting it drop, you don't have to worry. So it's a response from the body. It's very started to the beast of the beast. In our case, it's a resistance of the. Now, when I say this, I'm sure many of you are thinking what? Maybe thinking Hamas or something, or maybe the armed resistance. In the whole road of this. Let's look at more popular resistance in this history open and most 99% of the resistance of colonized people to colonizers is open 99 plus percent. Okay? I talk to you in my book if you want to read. Of course, you're not going to hear to BBC or CNN or Fox News or maybe the Western media because that will go counter to their narrative which they want to present to you, which is, hey, Israel and this defending itself, the terrorists and stuff. It's very colonial narrative, especially the working that the Europeans did in North America when the bringing themselves against those savages who are attacking us, killing our women and children. But what we do it's not looked at us really the language from the problem or whatever, but we don't want attacking us. But some of them attacking us, but we don't care that we say some, we say they attacking us. Really, the indigenous people. So we engage in religion so that is very more. This But as I said, the reality is 99.9% of the resistances of the unequal supplements, for example, the delegation, origin taken by the people, which is an institute for biodiversity and sustainability, and I consider it an institute of resistance. Its mission is to be conservation communities towards what? Towards a vision of sustainable human and natural community. Because we want to live in we want to be sustainable, nature to be sustainable. So that's our vision. Our wise respect. Respect for ourselves, indigenous people, we can take their own circumstances. Mental colonization, by the way, is more dangerous than physical colonization. If we accept the idea that the line is part of the building, we have something for being, or depends on the things, bring us to the start, depends on Israel, but definitely China, the International Criminal Court. He said on October 7th, legal early on October 8th, he said we have to cut off water, electricity, food, medicine, all guys. So because we're being human animals, not humans. This is in words. If we internalize the circumstances that somehow humans, well, stubborn of a bigger God that we are chosen the rest of God, then it's finished, So we have to empower ourselves. That's self-respect. Second, with respect for all of human beings, regardless of regional background, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, Bahai, and say with respect for nature, we indigenous people consider nature not just animals and plants. We consider Mother Earth to be living, the lakes, the stones, the water, everything. So we respect that. And this is the institute from and this is just some of our activities. We change that value. That is very this is our research. Productivity increases education, environmental awareness. We work with children. Every children activities of the field. That's all. Going to the room. For example, the big toy here of playing, enjoying. So we believe in the Chinese proverb or saying, I hear, I know, I hear and I forget. I see it, but doing the doing ways, by the way. That is our summer camps and other activities with children. We even have a mobile museum. We take it to remote areas, especially those impacted by colonization, like Jordan and other places. In conservation, we design protection areas, we protect trees, we have ex-situ and it's to conserve endangered species. These are the tools we have to take care for either to rescue the animals. We have a group called Palestine Action for the Planet, which is working with conversation rebelling against us under and those people to work for the climate change. And in community service, we work with farmers to increase their production, even the limited land and limited water itself for the few farmers that are left. We should say before 1948, 70% of Palestinians subsistence to living either from agriculture or pastoralism, sheep and goats and hills, camps. 75%. You know what the percentage now is? About 4%. So most of us are away from we go around and our water and our ability to move about is gone. So of course we work to for a small minority families to give them the powers to do things. We work with women, with farmers, with others. We do it, for example, women organic materials to grow their products, so that enhances the local economy. We have a community garden in which the children, especially towns and Bethlehem, can come and plant things. We have a college system. We actually brought some people from Gaza this a few years ago to Bethlehem to show them how to build a college system. Most of those are now destroyed. The people I'm still in touch with, but half the people that came to Bethlehem are dead. Actually, tell you the last post. So we believe in food sovereignty, and we believe in community work and communal work. This is our last oil harvest. A few weeks ago, we came here, harvested our olives. You can see the children in learning poverty with us. We welcome volunteers from abroad. Any of you can volunteer with us. You don't worry, you know. Tell them can contribute to whatever you want to contribute in the garden, in the museum itself, working with children in the river. We had volunteers from over 45 countries, and volunteers represent more than 60% of our labor. We don't have support or university support. We rely on individual donations actually, so I cannot afford staff to really from the on volunteer payments for the next 10 years. We started 10 years ago, this 10-year anniversary, and we have been talking 15 hours. This morning, for the morning in corporate here. Anyways, this is just what the volunteers do. This, by the way, woman, involved she's an Israeli Jewish woman. She volunteered with us for 2 years. It puts to the line, so we cannot live it together. Okay? We can live it together. We just can't live together as slaves and slave owners. You know? We just have to have equality. That's all. So this is a girl that I brought with Jessie. We brought to Connecticut there at the University in 2001. Israeli soldiers shot her in the eye. The peaceful streets here, there were no demonstrations. You got time over three Palestinian children were trapped in the north between 2005 in that uprising. Well, they don't shoot children in the eyes when they start according to seeing bullets. They shoot them in the head with the real bullets. Assassination is time. So this practice is gone. But anyway, there was for period did this and hundreds of Palestinian children lost their eyes. And the picture is adult, obviously she out doing the prosthetic. Is to get prosthetic in God. This is her son, by the way, who's 10 years old. They're now living in a tent. I won't show you the picture. So, this is before the over. Hey, there's another girl that we brought to Connecticut from the West Bank. That would interest you. There was no new research in the West Bank in 2001 that would be able to take a bullet out of the brain of a child. Later, the bullets came from one side, the Lord's gave the strong on the other side. And we there's two of them. We were very successfully in 2001. He happened to be there on September 11th, 2001 at the least. And she and her mother went to the local mosque. I went there also, even though it wasn't. But we had a community together, mosques to pray for the victims of September 11th. We can see the picture and when the mosque visitors and covering the community. This is here in my last slide, buddy. Sure, and we thought I'd put this picture. If you want to know what Mary was looked like, look at the picture on the right of the wall in Gaza of their son, where they demolished home. And this is a and it has definitely connect to us email. That's how sign up. Leave your email if you like. But please, by this there's a QR code in the back. If you are with the church in response to write your email online. I'll stop here and happy to take questions or comments on any subject I please cover. Like covered, I'm happy to cover. Thank you.